up, honey? What's up, honey love? What's up, girl? What's up, love, honey love? I see you. What you doing, Red Sonya? What's up, Sonya? Fat Mama Sonya. What's up, Fat Mama Sonya? What's up, Fat Mama Sonya? What's up, Mayday? Lord Mayday. What's up, boy? What's up, Lord Mayday? What's up, my boy Doc? What you say, Doc? What you say, Doc? What you say, Doc? It's my big boy, Doc. What you say? All right. Welcome back to another week, another episode of Game Dog Talk. Salute to the chat. I'm in here with the legendary Mr. Schoolboy Richard Garcia. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good, thanks. How you doing?
Oh, real good. It's Friday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ready to relax, man. We do this show. We get to talk. I'm looking forward to my Fridays when I can talk some dogs, man. And just
get back. It's always good, man. I enjoy it, man.
Yeah, man. Boxing be getting boring to me talking about boxing. Sometimes I love boxing, but sometimes it's just redundant, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of ego, and there's always ego in boxing, but you I always like when the people talking, whether it's announcers or whoever, that have knowledge of boxing, and have knowledge of the boxers themselves, even the rules, what size gloves they're wearing and mouthpiece, whatever it is, how they train and stuff, but lately it's just, like you said, it's kind of redundant, but after tomorrow, there might be something to talk about. Good fight coming up, huh?
Oh yeah, Kennel and Caleb Plant. That's a good one. We'll see how it turns out.
Should be.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me do a quick roll call. Salute to BFS Kennels in the building. What's up, man? Kevin Porter. Salute. I'm doing a quick like that. Mo Boxing. Salute, man. David Valdez, salute. Tony in the building, what's up? Bulldog Slim. Ross Judah, salute. Dogman RT, what's happening, man? Samuel Cross. Soul Power in the building. John in here. Let's see. Mark Wonderland. City Boy Kennel, salute family. Hit me up this weekend, City Boy. Let me see here. Mike Wonderland. Mike Lee, salute family.
Mike.
Ty Green. Let's see. Live Life Real, salute fam. AJ. It's that Carlister, salute. Let's see. Nicholas Bronson. Stephen Lamontes Hawkins. SBC Kennel, salute. Young World in the building. Black Ice. Mr. JDL 20 Texas up in here. Felix Nunez in the building. Let's see here. Oh boy, it just skipped on me. Hold on. Boss Dog Kennels. Word. Salute. Luciano. Brandon Blue. Dirt Road Kennels. Miami Snoopy 305. Von C. Fats. Doug in the building. Marlo Bulls. Mike G. The G-Way. Kendrick Kennels up in here. What's happening, man? Bank statement in the building. Trey Brown. All right. Let's get the salute to Felix Nunez and that super chat showing love. Much love, much appreciation. Family says, how the Knicks treating your Bucks in Milwaukee 78. Last I checked, it was I think the Knicks had came back, man. The Bucks was winning, and I think the Knicks came back. Whatever, man. The Bucks, we playing short-handed, man. So we missing like 3 of our starters, a couple of bench prep players. So You know, it is what it is. We gotta try to win some of these games till we get healthy. Let's see. Salute to everybody in the building, though. All right. Welcome down. Ram should be in here in a minute. Man, how you been, schoolboy?
Good. Just doing family stuff, writing, registration, all that stuff, just regular old stuff. But I look forward to the weekends too.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. We got a few questions in here. Let me pull up these questions from the people in the chat.
When you go down that roll call, when certain things always make something click in my head, and when you said Black Ice, he was a 2 or 3 time winner off of a dog named JR, and JR was off of Floyd, Chance Floyd,
right,
and his mama was a sister to a female that I had a dog off of, made Champion. So when you said Black Ice, that clicked in my head that
right.
I had Black Ice for a little bit, and then Freddie Brown. I know it's not the same Freddie Brown, but he was a famous boxing trainer. He trained Roberto Duran and a bunch of other guys.
Right.
From the 30. But it just that always happens. I hear something and something about dogs or boxing will click in my head.
Right. Yeah, and triggers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. Y'all smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the likes, get the likes all the way up. Let's see here. We got this is a question for you, schoolboy. Oh wait a minute, I got a Cash App. Salute to G Burns in the Cash App. Much love, much appreciation, fam. It says Soul Power in here. Thanks for looking out on my Invicto pad. Oh, okay, yeah. Salute, family. Yeah, I think he's the one who asked the question about the Invicto blood last week.
Yeah. He was a good-looking dog, man. I seen the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He looked like that blood, man. Exactly like it.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. All right. First question: are there any strains that went extinct due to yard losses? Like people getting the yards taken away from busts and shit like that. Do you know of any bloodlines that went extinct?
Well, not so much the bloodline as a whole, but the family of dogs. Yeah, that's happened quite often. Whether it's the law intervening or the people dying. I guess one from way back in the day, or two of them from way back in the day. The people that had the dogs that actually made the family of dogs, the bloodline, Komasinski and Bob Wallace. Other people might have had dogs from him and they kept it going for as long as they could, but both of those were the type that it was written in their will, or just an agreement that their families understood that they were dogs were going to be destroyed after they passed.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure, 99.9% sure that happened. Smith and Walton, after they had their debacle, they lost all their dogs. Other people, like I said, they have the blood still around, here and there. But as far as the dogs they had, they're all gone, except maybe a frozen semen or something like that. But for the rest of Bobby's life, he didn't have no dogs, and he lost all his dogs. So yeah, it happens for different reasons, off the top of my head, that's about all I can think of right now. But yeah, they get lost. Sometimes it's people getting busted or whatever. Sometimes it's just they get out of the dogs,
Right.
and then they're not breeding dogs no more, or they die, they pass away, stuff like that.
Right. Salute to SBC Kennels in the super chat. Much love and much appreciation, man. Salute to you. What's up? Welcome down, Round. Big stepping in the building.
What's up, Ram?
You're on mute.
What's happening, bro? How y'all doing?
Oh, good, man.
Good, you?
Shit, had better days, but I'm here, motherfucker. Got to kill every hair.
Yeah. What? Hey, Ram, what you think, man? What's any off the top of your head? Can you think of any bloodlines that may have went extinct or hard to find nowadays because of yard seizures or whatever reason?
Nah, I can't think of none because it's the so many different bloodlines out there that people use. So I wouldn't say they went extinct, but like Mr. Garcia just said, that family of dogs probably went away. But I don't know other than JOCKO,
You breaking up, Ram? Hey, Ram, you breaking up, brother? Try to leave out and come back in, Ram. Yeah, Ram might have in a bad connection or something. But so, Mr. Garcia, you said the Bob Wallace had that in his will.
I'm not sure. I'm just speculating that he had that in his will, and Komasinski too. But they're two people that that was just general knowledge. That people understood and have repeated that all their dogs to be destroyed.
Right.
Upon their death. And I even have a friend. He's going to do the same thing. He told me that if his wife understands it, his family understands it, that once he's gone, they're supposed to destroy all his dogs. It seems to some people, it seems kind of petty. It seems kind of, it's wrong, and preservation of the breed and all that stuff. But that's their wishes, and I got to respect it. I may not like it, but I respect what they want to do. They're their dogs. They do whatever they want with them.
Yeah, right.
Right or wrong, or whoever has an opinion on it. But yeah, both of those, Walter Komasinski and Bob Wallace.
Wow. Okay, let's see here. Another question we got was, how long would you give a late starter before giving up on him?
Well, that depends on the circumstances. I had one, in all my time, I had one, a son of Big Red, and the reason I kept him was he was slow to learn. He wouldn't really take hold, but he would scratch. He never made a peep when he got bit. I even put a couple of hard biters on him. I even put Big Red on him.
Right.
And he would always like go through the motions. And the thing I've said before, and I'll say again, is he never really got pissed off. And in Spanish they will use the word coraje, anger. You get mad, and you like to see that in dogs sometimes.
Right.
But he would always scratch, so I kept him around, and he turned 3 years old, and I told the dog, which don't mean nothing, but it did to me. I said, "This is it, man. This is your last chance." And I put a big old bruiser on him, about over 10 pounds bigger than him.
Right.
And that day he fired up, man. He did what he was supposed to, acted like a bulldog, and he was actually turned into a cannibal, or showed his cannibalism.
Right.
So the question, how long should you wait? That's up to the person. If you want to wait, some people don't wait. They have a mark, and they say if they don't show those signs at a certain age, they don't want them. And then the opposite side say, well, you could be getting rid of a good dog, which is true.
Right.
But if those are rules you have for yourself, that's a standard, and you have other good dogs in their mind, it's not worth the time or the trouble. And I respect that too, whether I agree with it or not, because everybody has their way, of going about doing things. And, again, that's their dogs. They do what they want. And, they understand, and they accept people are going to criticize them, or they don't accept and they argue, whatever the however it goes. But there's some people, they won't wait, and they'll give them a couple of tries, you know. And I'm talking in the past, like always.
Right.
They'd give them a couple of tries, and if not, they just, you know, like one I had. Again, another friend of mine, he had one. The dog started up, he looked good, this and that, but when he would scratch, he would hump the other dog, right?
Right.
And he did that 2 or 3 times, and he told me, "Hey, schoolboy, you know, the dog, I just got rid of him, man. He just, you know, I tried him 3 times. He did the same thing all 3 times, and I just called him, you know. He
Fucking
didn't,
rapists and shit.
yeah, yeah. You know, it just, if you think in real time, you know, and what you're trying to do with the dogs, if you're a competitor back in those days, you know, if you have all kinds of room and you got all kinds of time and you love dogs, whatever the reason is, and you want to keep dogs like that, that's fine. But a competitor, you know, in their mind, they're trying to get something that they can use, something they can work with, something that they want, you know, even you know, a hard worker, an intense dog, you know, that likes to get out there and push himself, you know, and all that in conditioning, or a dog that shows certain traits, you know. So they have a most, you know, top guys at least have an idea of what they want, and they'll put up with some things and some things they won't. So that's by choice also. So again, to answer the question, it just depends on the person. But you know, the more experience you have, like me, by that time I had a lot of experience. So, you know, maybe 10 or 15 years before that, when I seen what he did, I'm like, I might have just got rid of him, you know. But it was always in my mind, okay, at least he's scratching. He ain't crying when he gets bit. He don't care about when he gets bit. He got bit in the nuts one time, and it opened up his sack, and one of his nuts was hanging out of his sack. He didn't care. After it was
Yeah.
done, me and my wife just got him, cleaned him up, put his nut back in his sack, and sewed him up, you know.
Right.
But you know, maybe years before I wouldn't have went through all that trouble, but I'm glad I did. You know, I sold him to TVK, and he beat Cottingham's with him. You know, so it's up to the person. There's no even if people give you, you know, they're giving you advice and they tell you do like this, do that, do that. You got to be careful listening to that type of advice. You know, for me, I always try to look at both sides, and what it gets down to is personal preference for the person that has them. You know,
Right.
and to me, you know, later on, someone could say if the dog don't work out, someone will say, "I told you get rid of him. I told you. Who cares?
Right.
You know, you doing things the way you want to do them, and you know, you make your own decision, and you're gonna make mistakes. You know."
Absolutely. Ram, you there, bro? Oh, Ram, just fell off. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Gumbo in the super chat, much love and much appreciation, family. He says, salute, General, the schoolboy. I get this all the time. People get mad because I don't let them play with my pup. Most Bodru dogs are late starters. Salute, man. Mr. Gumbo.
Salute, Mr. Gumbo.
Said, salute to Ram. I didn't see you, fam. Yeah, Ram, he just dipped off. He'll be back in here. He probably looking for a good spot.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a good point Mr. Gumbo made, because you know, there's been posts and there's been even in our vids, you know, where you have the opinion that, you know, people say the blood does this and that's not true, and people say these dogs do that and that's not true. Some things, you know, like he's saying, Boudreaux dogs are late starters. That blood, whether it's Boudreaux or whether it's Bully Son, Eli Jr., there is a tendency for some of them to be late starters, late maturers, you know,
Right.
not real hard workers, you know. That's just something that's in the blood, and within that you'll have some that do start early. They are, you know, balls to the wall workers, and they are early starters and all that. But if you take them on a whole and you keep track and you have enough of them, and you see that it's just something that's in the blood, and you know, it's the same thing. I had Jeep dogs. You'll hear people say, and myself too, some Jeep dogs don't have finish. That's true. So you concentrate on the ones that do,
Right.
and you breed to other dogs within that line or outcross or whatever that do have finish. And every once in a while, you're going to get one that don't. But
Right.
is it in that blood? Yeah, it's in there. You could say that, well, that's with everything. Yeah, but with certain bloodlines, there's more of a tendency for it to happen. You know, it's the same thing if you want to say, you know, Boudreaux dogs, Bully Son Dog, Eli Jr., you know, they're known for mouth. Yeah, they are. They are. In my opinion, if you want mouth, that's the easiest way to do it. Breed to that blood.
Right.
99 point, you know, 90 to 99% of the time, you're going to get it. You know, it's
Right.
just, you know, other bloodlines, yeah, they have it. Yeah. JOCKO dogs are known for that, you know. Alligator crosses are known for that, you know. Some of the, you know, like Red Becker's Charlie stuff, you know, that it's known for that. But on a whole, if you want to say, you know, where do I go for mouth? That's what I would tell people, to go to the Eli blood. So there are things that happen more on an average than other, but Mr. Gumbo is right. You know, they some of them have a tendency to be late starters.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. To go to that question, I would say um, the latest I would wait if I, you know if this is back in the day for that purpose, I would probably say 3 years and shit. I heard a lot of good dog men say that they had dogs turn on in the third year and shit like that. But then, like Mr. Garcia said, it's about your what preference do you what you prefer on your yard. You know what I mean? See, like if you get a dog, late and the fucking dog is already a year and a half or something when you get him, you know what I mean, and you're anticipating him turning on, then waiting another year and a half might not be a big deal for you. But if you're getting them, if you're watching them from a litter as a pup, you know what I'm saying, and 3 years might seem like a long fucking time. You might, get frustrated and want to sell them, or, what I mean, whatever the case may be, and it just depends on the, what you're trying to do for your yard. It's just like people got different standards for culling, So what one man loves, another man might say, no, that's too long. I ain't got time for that shit. Some people might not prefer a dog, certain dog style, or something like that. I even heard people calling good dogs from their program because they didn't like the fact that the dog wasn't a rear end dog and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They was sell it or trade it. You know what I mean? So that's people got their own standards, man.
Yeah, that's a good point. And again, back in real time, back in the day, if you think about it, if you wait, let's say you wait till they're 3 years and they mature at 3, you still have time to compete with them. But if you wait until they're 4 or 5, if you're just going to breed them, yeah, that's okay. But that's getting up there where you can't really compete with them no more. You might get one show out of them or something.
Right.
But it would be rare that you could get a champion or grand champion out of that. So that's a factor too, I would think, because, again, let's say you hit the 3-year mark and they start, now you're going to have to school them and you got to, time in between that and then, do your thing and all that. And then repeat that over and over. You're starting to get up where the dog's too old. So that could have been a factor too with people back in the day for why they didn't want to wait that long,
Yes, indeed. Yep. Yes, indeed. Let's see here. Another question here. What was your go-to kibble, and how much do you increase the food during the winter, Mr. Garcia?
Back in the day, I used, and again, I said this before, I wouldn't recommend it now because they sold the company and they changed the recipe. But I used a chicken and lamb-based kibble. It was called Neutro Max, and I think it was 28-21 as far as the protein and fat.
Mm-hmm.
During the winter, if I did increase it, it would only be maybe a half a cup, but that's because I supplemented it with beef tallow, beef fat.
Right.
So I would cook that down a little bit, let it cool down till it's still warm, and then put that in the feed. And if you give them enough of that, you really won't have to increase the kibble if you're looking at the cost value, because they'll retain weight and pick up a little weight just with the beef tallow. You know, it has some nutrients in it, especially the fat, you know, and a few other things. But generally, it depends, you know, also how cold it gets. Where I live, it gets down to freezing, but it don't really get that cold. Like where you live and other people live, Great Lakes area and Northeast United States, it get down 30 below zero, you know?
Yeah.
So you might have to increase it exponentially, a cup, even 2 cups. Say you're feeding 2 cups regular, you know, up in the Northeast, you might have to give them 4 cups and
Right.
maybe still add some you know, some extra fat. And you know, I didn't keep my dogs too heavy, even in the wintertime. You know, they might be 4 or 5 pounds overweight. But again, in that type of weather, you might have to keep them a little heavier than that because it is so cold. You know, you know yourself. You know, it warms up in the day during the day, but not that much. You know, it could still be 30 degrees during the day or whatever it is, 20 or whatever. You have, you know, windstorms and, you know, snowstorms and all, you know, 4, 5, 6 foot of snow and all that. And even, you know, some people, they had insulated dog houses, you know.
Right.
And so that extra weight during that extreme cold is necessary.
Yes, indeed. Ram, you there, bro?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you, bro.
All right, yeah, I was fucking in traffic still, man. You know how long that shit take.
Hell yeah. What's your kibble of choice right now, Ram? And how much do you increase it by for the winter?
I don't really increase it that much because, you know, it get cold out here, but it ain't like where y'all at, you know.
Right.
So I just barely increase it. So I feed, depending on, you know, the dog age. Like my pup, I still feed him 4 cups twice a day. But my older dogs, I would just increase it a little bit, maybe a cup at the most, because it don't get too fucking cold out here like that. And right now, though, I got the Origin, and then I grabbed some of that Victor Pro shit the other day that I sent you, but I ain't cracked that open yet. I just still been on that Origin. And I tried that one shit you put me up on, though, the Blue Buffalo?
Blue Wilderness. Yeah,
Blue Wilderness.
Yeah.
Hey, what is you doing? Yeah, Blue Wilderness, though, that fucking shit, it had him bulk up pretty quick. For the one bag I ran on him, he bulked up pretty good.
Yeah, it's a real good calorie dense kibble. Yeah, that's what I use. I use Blue Wilderness. It's a little pricey and shit, but I use that for right now. I'm probably gonna end up switching over to the Victor shit. I'm gonna see gradually, you know, switch them on the Victors. But the Blue Buffalo, I give them, and let's say if I'm giving the dogs 2 scoops, right? Let's just say if I'm giving 2 scoops, in the fall, I know when it's I'm preparing them for winter, so I gradually start increasing their food slowly. So I increase it just to build a little thin layer of fat, give them some extra calories. So by the winter time, when the temperature drops, like right now it's not even winter, but it's already like you wake up in the morning, it'd be like 37 degrees, shit like that outside, 35. It'd be cold as a motherfucker, like frost on the grass. So I know the dogs be cold, so I want them to have a little shiver fat, you know what I'm saying? Some fat they can shiver off a little bit. So when I feed them in the winter, I usually give them either double portions, or I give them an extra cup, and then I use some added fat to throw on there. I'll be experimenting with extra fat and shit on there. Sometimes I use
Man, you got fucking duck fat, goose fat, all that shit.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, how much is that shit, bro? I'll cash app you some. Just hit me some. I want to try that shit out.
Oh yeah, I'll send you some duck fat. I think it was like $6-7. I gotta look in the store. looking when I go back out to Grafton and shit. I go out to Grafton to get that shit, man. But it's another thing, stuff called Miracle Vet. It smell good as fuck. Shit smell like some type of steak sauce or some shit, man. But you know, it's real calorie dense, liquid. It's got a lot of omega-3 fatty acids in there and shit. Got vitamins and minerals and shit in there. I pour that shit over there. Put like a tablespoon of that, sometimes two, on real cold days. Let them eat that shit, and you know, you ain't gotta feed them that much, but they still get that good, they get good healthy fat and shit in them. You know what I'm saying, so I do that. That worked pretty good for me and shit.
Yeah.
You know?
There's the vitamin mineral supplement I use was called Dog Bloom, and they also made a product that I use for my female sometimes. It's called Extra Bloom Weight, and
Right.
it's kind of like what you're saying. It's a high calorie, you know, and also like my females in heat, or in whelp, or in, you know, after they were pregnant, I used to feed them beef, you know. I barbecued a lot of tri-tip back there, so the scraps or whatever, or just cut a chunk off or cook it separate for them or whatever, you know.
Right.
I'd that you know, the iron content's a little higher in beef, and I would give them that. They love that. They always, you know, they wouldn't lose weight. You know how some females, they'll lose weight because you ain't
Right.
feeding them enough or whatever. Doesn't have enough calories. But I would, you know, I always gave mine beef. And in
Right.
keep, I really didn't use. I used beef a few times, but in keep, I used chicken. But with the females, pregnant females, I use beef.
Yeah. There's a lot of little tricks to the trade. Hey Ram, I'm gonna ask you a question. The last question was how long would you give a late starter before giving up on him? Can you hear me, Ram? Yeah, Ram going in and out. Let me see here. Mr. Gumbo back in that super chat. Salute, man. Much love, much appreciation. Said 78. Can I feed my dog the same even if I make him my house dog? What do you mean? Can you feed him the same? I mean, if you're talking about like, do you have to feed him more when he's outside? Yeah, if he's in your house and he's warm and shit, then you wouldn't have to. I don't think you would have. It wouldn't. The wintertime wouldn't matter about adding extra food if it's a house dog and shit. You know, it's not gonna be freezing in your house and shit, so he should be fine. You know, I don't think that's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, I think that's what he means. You know, is there a difference if they're less active inside the house? Yeah, you wouldn't have to feed them as much. If they're more active, you know, outside, then yeah, and that's generally in any weather, you know, because the house generally is temperature controlled. You know, it's never going to be too hot, never going to be too cold. You know, and they're not real active. Most of them just lay around, you know. And if they don't lay around inside the house, for me, I wouldn't have them as no house dog. They,
Right.
especially my wife, they ain't tearing shit up in my house, man.
Yeah, man. Them dogs get. Yeah, man, they get real destructive, man, because they need to work and shit, man. So
yeah. Well, a lot of them, if you know, people probably seen this, you know, they you know, they're used to being outside, and first time you bring them inside, they run the whole house, man. They're up and down over the furniture on the bed, in and out every room. I don't know why they do that, you know, but I've had that happen with several dogs, man. They're cool. They may even be cool on the chain and not jump on you and all that stuff, and kind of mellow and all that. You bring them in, man, they run like, you know, all over, like they got their ass on fire or something. It's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. What's up, Ram? Can you hear us?
Yeah, that was my lawyer calling me. My bad.
Okay. What's up, good? Hey, how long would you wait on a late starter before giving up on him?
Shit, I done waited 3 years, and that dog turned out to be one of my better dogs, you know? So that's one case where it was well worth the wait. So, yeah, a little bit over 3 years. and he turned out to be a cannibal. You know, the good old Jeep shit kicked in, so it was worth it. Especially that being, you know, my first Jeep dog and shit. I ain't want that shit to leave a sour taste, you know, in the game for me, like how it did with the Frisco stuff.
Right.
Like I just barely, you know, towards the end of my career, started seeing the good Frisco stuff. Back then, you couldn't give me no goddamn Frisco dog.
Right.
Yeah, that's the same story I just told, Ram, when you weren't here. Same thing. Mine turned 3 years old. He turned cannibal, man.
Oh yes, that's that Jeep stuff. I'm telling you. So that might just be a good indicator. You got a late starting Jeep dog, you know, which is rare. But if it is, you know, sit on them. Cause you never fucking know.
Maybe. You got 2 examples.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And I was fucking gonna call the dog and shit, but the kids liked them, so I was just gonna, you know, snip them and let them keep them as a pet.
Yeah.
One day that motherfucker cranked all the way on. I was like, God damn.
Yeah. Mine was my dad's house dog too. He, you know, he obedience trained him, and he could ride in the back of the
same
truck.
with mine. Yeah, like he was cool. Like he was a perfect house dog.
Yeah.
Real smart, you know, real loving towards the kids, strangers, all that shit. Well, when he finally did turn on, it was hell to tell the captain. You know, he went out and got him one, and, you know, and stopped a good one who was going out for his championship, and he was open till the day he died. You know, didn't nobody want none of that smoke. They thought it was a whole different dog. Like, it can't be the same dog, you know? Yeah, man. So, yeah, three years and some change for me, and it was well worth the wait. That was one of my favorite dogs, not only because he was good at what he did, but he was just an all-around good dog, real smart, real calm, just a good dog, loved to work. No matter what tool I introduced him to, he'd take right to it, you know?
Right. Salute Hampton, USA. Kennel, in that super chat showing much love and much appreciation, man. He said, salute, fellas. Hashtag working dogs. Hashtag for life. Salute, man. Appreciate you, man, coming through. Happy USA. Let's see here. Let me get to another question.
Check the private chat right quick.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Hey, that shit happens like that, man. Shit happens like that, man. That's what they get.
Yeah. I don't feel bad. Just, you know, shit like that sucks. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's what happened. Motherfucker hit a bleeder on his ass.
Hell yeah. Major bleeder. Nigga ain't make it.
Let me see here.
That's why it's just better to leave people shit alone. Leave people and people shit alone. You never know who you running up on.
Right. How early should you start schooling dogs for hunting? You know what I'm saying? Back in the day when you had dogs, Mr. Garcia, how early do you think was a good age to start schooling?
Well, you know, after you get some experience, you have kind of a general rule, you know. And I would say back then, on average, 18 months is good, 16 months, something like that. But I've started them at 12 months, 13 months. It just depend on the dog, Not that they won't start. It's just better to wait till they're a little bit more mature,
Right.
Because some people, if you don't have experience, they would have a tendency, they might start them 9, 10 months old, where they're going to keep doing it over and over. And now you have, you might screw up some tendons, and you might, break some leg because they're not fully developed. You're going to lose teeth. You're going to have over scarring, over damage, blind in one eye, missing an ear, all kinds of stuff, which with some maturity, some of those things could have been avoided just because of the dog himself. They'll start quicker. They'll get with the program faster, defend themselves, whatever you want, however you want to look at it. So the general rule for me on average would have been 18 months. But also within that, you know, as I started breeding more and more, my dogs have 2, 3, 4, 5 generations, you know, I didn't really school them that much either. And that, you know, unless if it was a dog I was going to compete with, you know, if it was something that I was going to hold back, you know, I'd be real rough on them, hard on them to make sure they were worth breeding. But if not, you know, I did several dogs, and I mean several, 1 roll, 2 roll, 3 roll, maybe that's it, max.
Right.
Some
Right.
just, you know, I even had one that I bred, and I've told the story, but I bred them. Someone else schooled them for me, or schooled them, you know, brought them back for me to use. I didn't even look at him. I just went on his word, you know. The only thing I seen him bite was a speed bolt. You
Right.
know, another time, it was half my blood. The guy brought the dog back to me. I looked at him for maybe 15 minutes. That was it. You know, other times, you know, a couple of rolls. That's it. And because, you know, and I'm not saying this as, you know, what people should do, but, you know, I knew my dogs. I knew my blood. I knew their style. I knew how they were supposed to act and behave, their temperament, behavior, their moves, what they should do. So when I seen enough out of them to where I thought they could win, that was good enough.
Right.
And most of them didn't quit, you know, because again, you know, you get that, you know, the more time you put on them, the more you take out of them,
Right.
you know. So it's a little bit of a gamble, but it helps if you know your dogs and you know your blood and you're the one been breeding them for generations, you know. And that became or was a standard with a lot of guys. These famous guys, you hear their names, this and that, and the top conditioners and competitors and all that stuff. They would do the same thing. We talk about it all the time. I'd ask them back, you know, how many times you rode? I just let one guy, he beat a champion. He just looked at his dog for 5 minutes, you know, that
Right.
was it. And the first time out, she'd be a champion. And that happens a lot, you know, because you're relying on knowing your dogs. You're relying on your own ability to condition and, you know, what's behind them, you know, if they're noted for having a lot of athleticism and the bottom is there, you know, the foundation is there, you're always going to take a gamble anyway. So in people's minds, you know, why I'm going to put a lot of time on them and just, you know, they could lose some teeth, you know, they could get fucked up, lose a toe or something, rip their ear off or something. So, you know, that became more with most people, you know, you ain't skull dragging every dog you take out there, you know. People look at it like they looked at it, and I did too. Like, you know, that could have been a match. He could have done that in a show, you know. Why I'm gonna fuck him up
Exactly.
before I use
Yeah.
him? You know, I go out there and use him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. That's why it's always been my motto. You skull drag your brood stock and you school out your competing stock. You know,
Yep.
2 totally different dogs for 2 totally different things. You know,
Yeah.
you don't want to skull drag your competing dog because, like you just said, you just took a whole competition out of him.
Yep.
You know, say he looked great in that skull dragging. He could have looked great, you know, and got an official W.
That's right. Yep. So, and the reason I say that is because it was common for people to do that. It's not like, you know, me and Ram are saying like we're the exception. No, shit, that's what most people did. You know, they look at it and say, yeah, he could
Yeah, if
win.
you
You know,
smart, but that come with experience and knowing what you're looking at. You
exactly.
know, once you get the eye, you could tell, okay,
Yeah.
he might be worth $1 or $2, or he ain't got no talent, but he game as fuck. I'm gonna try to breed the talent into you. You know.
Yeah, like that.
Mm-hmm. Salute to Hampton USA Kennels. Back in that super chat, showing love. Appreciate you, man. So keep the great knowledge coming. Thank you, family. Salute to you, man.
Salute.
Then we got Joe Bratz in the super chat. Much love and much appreciation. Says, what do y'all know about Larson bred stuff? I'm not familiar with it, man. I heard of some Amstaff stuff like that with a similar name, but I'm not sure about this one. Y'all heard of that, Bloodline?
I don't know if that's even the spelling. If it's the Larson from back in the day, he had Red Ed. He was a daughter or son of La Passe's Buster. I don't know if that's it. He was a good producer. Some people, you know, did good with that blood. I don't know if that's the one. If it's not, I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, could you tell us which Larson you talking about? Because there's a different guys with that last name that had their own, you know, strain of their family of dogs. The most famous being that Red Ed dog you just mentioned, but everybody else was more private people.
Okay. Come back. Let us know, man. What you mean by that? All right. Let's see here. Question. Oh, Ram, you answered that question about schooling, right? Ram, did you answer the schooling question? Ram must be up. Went out again.
Yeah, on the phone again.
Yeah. Any what do you do? Question is, what do you do for itchy skin? A guy said in the chat, he said that his dog basically when dog's outside and dog has itchy skin, he started noticing on the back end, dog has a little bit of patches and stuff. He'd take the dog in the house, wash it, and the dog would be fine. But when you take it back outside, he started noticing the itchy stuff again. So he's wondering, what does he need to do for that situation?
Yeah. If you ain't take him to the vet, you know, and if that's a scenario that happens often enough where outside itchy skin, inside not itchy skin, there's something that's irritating their skin outside. Could be mites, could be fleas, could be something in the soil. It could be he's rubbing himself, scratching himself. Could be all kinds of things, you know. I used a product, I mentioned it before. It's called shit, now I forgot. Anyways, it was for incontinent people. It's a cream. New Cal, or what was it? I forgot. Anyways, you know, you can try using an antibiotic cream. You could flea dip them, flea shampoo them. You could, you know, I would spray their area, clean it up, you know, check to see if it's not rubbing on your house, or you know, if it's where there's patches and stuff. You probably, if he's doing it by rubbing on his house, you know, you can see on the house little blood droplets or whatever, or patches, you know, hair or whatever. But you know, the main thing, you know, if it becomes an issue over a period of time, you're gonna have to take them in. It could be mange, you know. There's two kinds of mange that we talked about in a previous, you know, video chat. So it's just a matter of first finding out what it is. In between that time, you could try some antibiotic cream and do all the stuff like I said, you know, dip them and like that. You could try some aloe vera cream or something like that. But without knowing what it is, you can't really say this is what it is and do this.
Right. Yeah, you should probably just take him to the vet. He might be allergic to something. You know, shit like that outside in your backyard.
What's this, the itchy question?
Yeah, the itchy shit.
Yeah, just get a skin culture done, bro. It's only like $20, and that way you'll get an exact answer. And then, you know, if you don't like what your vet prescribes you, you could come back and ask, what's a good alternative for this? You know, because it could be a number of things. It could be a food allergy, a seasonal allergy, anything, you know. He could be just allergic to that one brand of dog food, or that one specific bag might have too much of something in it, you know, and it's making them break out. So, yeah, just get a skin culture done and just take it from there, bro. It's easier. It's only like $20-$30.
Yep. Do that, man. You know, most definitely, man. You always take it to the vet, man. But you know, like you said, most likely it's probably some fucking mites or some shit. And if that's the case, You want to just make sure the coat of the dog is clean, and it might not it might be a good idea to try some after you bathe it and dry it. Put some. This is what I would do. I put some fucking oil on the fucking dog, man. Put some oil on his skin, lather up his skin with oil and shit. You can use some baby oil, some fucking I like baby oil because it ain't gonna fuck them up when they start licking it and shit. Sometimes you can use coconut oil. Somebody, Mr. Gumbo just said,
is the dog drinking enough water? Not to cut you off, bro, but yeah, that shit just popped in my head. What's his water intake like? Because it could be just dehydrated,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially if it's cold. That's a good point. In the cold weather, dog, they usually don't drink water. That's why I put fluids in their food. If it's real cold, they just won't drink. It's too cold, they don't like it. That's where you see some dogs, they bang their tail and they get a bloody tail.
Right.
It's because they're dehydrated. Not always the case, but it could be that. That's a good point.
Yeah, that shit just popped up in my head because I had a dog get dehydrated, and again in the winter time too. So all I did was bring him in, though. He warm in the house, so he drinking all the water he could drink.
Well, salute to Live Like Real said fish oil, most definitely. Fish oil good.
Yeah. What up, Live Like Real? Salute to everybody in the chat. I just got a lot going on today. Everybody keep calling me and shit, man. Fucking up my flow.
You're very popular.
Yeah, salute.
Hell yeah. I just got to transfer that to dollars,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, if you were so
cool
popular,
kid.
if you were so popular, how come they ain't paying you, huh?
You like me so much, hit the Cash App, goddammit.
Salute, Rado Haskins. I see you in here. Beast Mode. CB Sports TV. Mr. Thomas Moreland. Supreme Beast Boxing Talk. Rough Jack Kennel, salute. Big Dose 5-1 Trade, salute. John Kramer. Main Event Mark. Smooth Monty, salute everybody in here. All right, let's get to another question here.
Yeah, the homies in here deep tonight. Salute to all y'all, man. What up, Dog Man RT? I see. Bank Statement, the homies. Kendrick, what up?
Yeah, pros and cons of repeat breedings, Mr. Garcia.
That's a good one. The pro is you get good dogs the second time around too. The con is it don't work. Either way, it could happen. In my experience, and this is not everybody's experience, the first breeding that I've noticed is better than the repeat. With other people's experience, they say it's better, which could happen, or the same, But I only did a repeat breeding on one of my females, and the first litter was definitely better, a lot better. Not that the second was bad, but just not the same caliber of dog. And then a couple other people did it a few times, and I like the first breedings from his rather than the second one, better than the second repeat breeding. But it's in that it's hit and miss, because of the way the genes work. You could get the same, you could get different, you could get totally different, you could get better, you could get worse. It just depends on how they come out. There's I don't think there's any science to that. You could say it's luck of the draw. And like I said, some people say that second time it's just as good or better. But in my experience, I didn't see a whole lot of them, but the ones I did, the first one was always better.
Right. Okay. What you say, Ram?
Shit, I ain't never had luck trying to rob the bank twice. Same with the motherfucking repeat breeding. Sometimes some people get the luck of the draw, and each time they do it, they get better dogs. But the time I did it, this shit was way worse than the first. It's like all the recessive bad shit linked up this time, Like I got all the good ones out the first time. But I wouldn't call it a repeat breeding. I had a trio, so to speak, 2 males and a female, and I bred, one female to her brother, all litter mates, and then the other brother the next time, and The first brother we bred her to, them dogs was ass, but bred to the other brother, it was, you know, real good dogs. If that helps, you know, these dogs is funny. You never know what you're gonna get when you roll the dice, you know.
Yep, that's true. You can have good expectations. You know, you can pretty much, you know, be close. You have a good feeling that's gonna work. You know, but a lot of times they don't. You know,
and both males, you know, I bred the bitch to, both was champion dogs and produced champions, and she went on to produce champions. And just breeding to one brother didn't work at all.
Yeah, yep, that can happen. Anything can happen in that way. You're just trying to, you know, when you do breedings, you're trying to get some consistency.
And that's what we did that type of inbreeding for. We liked the family of dogs and wanted to try to lock in on those traits, you know.
Right. And that's a key word too, you know, when you follow the dogs that show you that are worth it, you know. And sometimes you try and make something work, or you try something, you just trying it to see what happens. It could work, but you get more consistency with dogs that are proven themselves, proven producers, and you follow the ones that show you that have the highest percentages. That's standard across the board. Yeah. People can argue it, but that's through any endeavor as far as domestic breeding goes, you know.
Right.
Whatever, you know.
Yeah. Good points about repeat breeding. It's just like, you know, fucked up example, but you know, it's just like in humans, you know, shit, your brother might be able to fucking dunk a basketball and do all this shit, and you come out like me, fat and shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Same mom and daddy. It's just, you know, different. Yeah. I got all the brains, you know. So my brother got the athletic ability and shit.
Yeah.
Hey, facts. I got a bitch ass half brother from my daddy. He a whole bitch. I don't fuck with him. I try to punch him down every time I see him. He's such a bitch. But we got the same sire. He just a curve, you know.
I hear you.
Yeah, pops threw a curve breeding to that old mother ass bitch.
Damn.
I don't like him or his mama though. Fuck both of them.
Yeah, I checked the DNA. He might not be Pops. You know that.
Oh, hey, trust me, I would do it, but he look just like us. Ain't no denying. Yeah, he old Eli looking dog. Got the ears in the face and all. Like goddamn.
Hey, fuck it. I tried. You know, I tried to help
me.
You know?
Yeah, I've been. He's like, you sure he one of us? Motherfucker look dead on us. Yeah, straight mutt though.
Yeah, I fuck with my kids like that. I'll tell people, or I'll say it in front of them. You know, the 2 of the 3 kids are mine. You know, and the other one get pissed. You know, and I say, well, shit. You know, your mom was awful friendly with the mailman, and they'll go, Dad, the mailman was a lady, man. It wasn't even a guy. You stuck with me. You stuck with me. Fuck it. You know?
Dude. Yeah. DNA test says you are the father.
Yeah.
Smooth Monty in the super chat. Much love and much appreciation, homie. I appreciate that. He says, about to go to my first ADBA confirmation show tomorrow in about 15 years. Got an 8-month-old pup. Any tips? Hey, congratulations, man. Salute to you.
Good
Any
luck.
tips for him, Mr. Garcia?
Yeah, just you know, well, it's kind of late, but you know, have the pup, you know, healthy and you know, disease free, no parasites. Have some weight on them. You know, a lot of people think, you know, you're supposed to have a pup down in weight. You shouldn't. Any judge worth their salt doesn't like to see skinny, underfed pups or conditioned pup, if you want to put it that way. You know.
Facts. I will not give your puppy a ribbon at all if he show up with his stomach tucked up.
Yeah. No, you can't. Nope. So that just I don't know if you practice walking with it, you know, in the show ring, or just, you know, on your own or whatever. Practice stacking the pup. Sometimes that helps, you know. They get the judges like where you could stack them up and have them still. But one tip I'll give is when you're showing your dog, you know, pup or whatever, you want to have the pup or dog in between you and the judge at all times, right? So naturally, when the judge comes up, you're going to be on the backside of the pup, you know, and you're going to show but when you're walking them, you know, a lot of people do this by mistake. You know, they'll walk them out, they'll make that turn, and they'll turn the wrong direction. So if you have the pup on your left side, when you walk them out, you're going to turn to the left. So the judge sees the pup all the time, right? You're not in between them. You're not, you know, it should be you on one side, pup in the middle, judge there. But if the pup is on your left side and you go out and you turn around to the right, you're going to be in between the pup and the judge, and he's not going to be able to see it. That's probably one of the main things I tell people, because they haven't really practiced showing their dog. But you always want the judge to be able to see the dog, whether you're walking out and back, whether you're, you know, out to the center and back, whether you're turning or going around the ring. Even if you're, you know, when you come in and you hand walk your dog, you know, to the position you're going to be in for showing, have yourself on the other side of the dog where the judge, as you're walking in, can see that pup all the way around the ring.
All facts. Hell yeah. That and I say this is how I do with the dog training and shit when I'm doing attack dog training and shit like that. Start them, you know, from your right foot in the heel. Boom. He ain't necessarily got to sit down, but you just want him at your heel, his front paws at your heel. So when you take that first step out, he walk with you. And that'll keep him, you know, boom, in the line of sight of the ref, like you was mentioning. Boom. So when you do turn right or left, you know, he'll be on your heel. It's an easier transition for you. You won't get tangled up in the cord, clumsy, and it won't, depending on how many dogs in his class, he won't try to lunge out at them. A lot of dogs do that too. I don't mind it when I'm doing the judge show, because I get to see the dog flexing like that, to see if he's really in shape or just fed down, you know. So I like to do it like that. But yeah, just, you know, make sure he's clean and shiny. I like a nice, shiny, healthy looking pup.
Yeah. I judged a fun show for the ADBA years ago in Texas, and Gary Hammonds was there, and I've known him for years, you know, even though we don't talk that much. He knows me pretty good. I know him. He's good people, you know. And he was walking along. He come up to me, introduced, hey, how you doing, schoolboy? This and that. We shook hands. He go, what are you doing here? I said, Gary, I'm here to judge a fun match, you know. He goes, no. He goes, don't say fun match. Don't. Fun show. Yeah, fun show. You go, don't tell people you're judging a fun match, you know. It's kind of funny.
It sounds like you're out there judging off the chains and shit. Like, hold on.
Yeah, no.
They still don't count just because you was there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's just my one way of thinking, you know, one-way thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hell yeah. Oh, no, we're not matching nothing. This is all, this is to show the glory of the dogs, but not like that.
Yeah.
What's up, Tay Tay? See you in the building.
Salute Tay Tay Brown, fine self.
Yes, indeed. We got Ram. Matter of fact, why don't you touch on that, Ram? What you just said, because
Tay Tay Brown being fine. We can talk about that.
No, man. Talk about the difference, because I think a lot of people need to hear that. You and Schoolboy, talk about the difference between a dog being in shape or fed down.
Well, I noticed the easiest for me when a dog is really in shape, his stomach is tucked up, but you can still see the two lat muscles on his side come down, and he still got the back muscles running down each length of his back in it with his spine in between. That's when a dog that's in shape, he got the perfect muscle, full muscle definition and everything. Whereas a dog fed down, you could tell they fed down because their skin didn't get a chance to retract up with it. It's kind of like when fat people get liposuction. Like, your body's skinny, but your head's still fat as fuck. You know, you look dumb as hell running around. But when you work out and you lose the weight, though, you don't be looking all fucked up like that. You crazy, cuz. Come on, man. I'm just saying, no, that's real. It's like, look at Al Roker, Big Boy, Ain't he who used to be fat but got the surgery? Her head big as fuck right now. I bet my whole paycheck on that. But you could tell you cheated. You did it the wrong way. It's just how my mind operates, and that's how I equate shit, bro. I ain't trying to be funny. That is funny though when I think about it.
Yeah, but it's true.
Hell yeah, but it's the same for the dogs though.
Yeah,
the dogs be looking like that. They look crazy as fuck when they fed. Even if they got like a nice front end muscle definition, the skin still looks saggy.
Yeah, that's true. Some like to get away. They'll starve them down or something, dehydrate them and all that. You can tell the difference. When you do that, the coat ain't that shiny, and you see a lot of bone where you shouldn't see too much bone. Sometimes their muscle definition ain't there. And if it is, they just look hella skinny.
Yeah, they look fucked up, messed out dogs. Like the dog look like a dope fiend.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that shit funny. Yeah, but it's true. It's funny because it's true, man.
7-8 just barely got done laughing.
Yeah, I had to go on mute so you could finish, man, because I was cracking the fuck up, dog. Because I was
my fault.
I was thinking about what's the dude Randy Jackson from American Idol and shit.
Yeah,
big head ass, him and Al Roper and shit.
Yeah, looking like street frogs and shit. Who could do hip hop better than a frog can? Street frogs.
Oh man, Smooth Monty back in that super chat. Much love, much appreciation, fam. Says I like Gary's small yard. Been on his yard twice. Salute, man.
Yeah, it's probably small now. When I visited him, it wasn't that small. He had.
Well, I was about to say, would you, Gary? Like when I visited him, I still got a. He gave me an old brake stick. He just picked up off one of them old what he got out there, them hickory trees, them big old trees. I still got it, but he had like 200 dogs, and he was old man. I was like, hell no.
Yeah, he had a bunch.
Oh yeah. If he got a smaller yard, that'll be good. Hopefully, basing everything around that racehorse Haynes dog. I like that dog a lot.
Yeah. He told me it was a full day, like an 8-hour work day to just feed and clean up and take care of them. That's how many dogs it had. It took him all day to do it.
Yeah, he had a bunch of dogs, a bunch of big ass dogs too. Like, god damn, how you feed all these big motherfuckers, man? But he loved it though.
Yeah, he did. Puppy pens too. He had puppy pens, all that stuff.
Yup. Nice setup for the pups. Like, yeah, he loved that shit. He had at least 120 grown dogs on the chain out there when I went and visited him years and years ago.
Man, look what Smooth Monty say. Only $200 when I went. He said that's a small yard.
Yeah, only 200, huh?
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, man, so let me go to this next question here. He says, why do this guy said, why does his dog can you explain why his dog only goes after big dogs but ignores little dogs? Now this guy's not he ain't trying to put no shit in the box or none of that shit. He just said he noticed that his dog will go after like big dogs, but he ignore smaller dogs.
When I was matching inscription, I only went after the big dogs. So I feel them. Fuck them little motherfuckers. That shit don't motherfucking move me one way or the other. Some dogs are smart enough though to know the difference. Like I'll smash you, little homie. Go get your OG. You know.
Yeah, it's not a challenge to them.
Arguing with a motherfucking bitch at Walmart or some dumb shit, I'll go get your husband.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna get shit out of slapping you down. You only got one slap in you. Go get your man so I can punch him down. Some dogs is the same way, like, man, get the little shit out of here. Where that big motherfucker at who been talking all that shit? I done had dogs when I had a good size yard run past every dog on the yard just to get the red jack, biggest dog on the yard. You pass up old dog, Bucks, everybody else. Run right over there just so he can try to kill your stupid ass. Something just like that, though. If you're going to shoot for the stars, motherfucker, aim at the sun.
Yeah, my granddaddy had a dog like that. He had a dog like that when I was a kid. He changed his name later on to Mr. T and shit because he used to say the dog he pity curs and shit. The dog would pity curs and shit. He want all the smoke with a dog that was a threat. But if he just knew that the other dog wasn't a threat, he wouldn't do shit to him.
Yeah, they you know, a lot of dogs, you know, they can even be around other dogs, you know, as long as there's no threat, you know, no challenge, you know, and they're cool, you know. And that same dog that didn't challenge them, they're good as long as they don't. If that dog challenges them, then they'll fire up, you know. It's just some are like that, you know. A lot of the Heinzel dogs were like that. They were you know, they were go getting fools, you know, in the box, or if they were challenged, and if not, they could be around female pups, you know, other young dogs, other dogs, as long as they didn't bow up on them, you know, they were fine.
Yeah. Yeah, my first Heinzel dogs, I thought they was cold because I had a pair of males that was cool like that, you know, and I didn't raise them as pups or nothing, but as soon as one of them flexed, it was up, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people would get that confused, a cold dog with a calm dog. Look at Grand Champion Virgil. There's video of him on the yard as a title Grand Champion, running around dogs on the chain, and he lose. He ain't tripping if you ain't tripping.
Yeah, there's a lot of dogs like that throughout. I guess. Oh yeah, y'all. One of y'all mentioned Virgil, right?
Yeah, that's what I just said. There's a video of him running around with a little golf cart, you know, and the gambler, and he just, you know, showing a yard video. Virgil cool than a motherfucker. Some dogs are real cool like that, and like Mr. Garcia said, if he ain't cranking up, I ain't gonna crank up. Well, if you want a fucking nut check, let's go.
Just yeah, there's some smart dogs who act like that though. Them is typically smart dogs when they can they kind of go by your energy and shit, check your temperature. Like if you don't want no shit, I ain't on no shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As soon as you look at me funny, I'm fucking you up. Let me see here.
Yeah, even that if you look at the old, you know, that Petey in the old that old show they used to have with them kids.
Oh,
Little Rascals.
Yeah, Little Rascals. You'll see him sometimes, every once in a while. He's, you know, he's cool around other dogs and this and that, and then something sets him off, and he act like he's going towards the dog, and they cut the film.
Right.
So I suspect, you know, he was challenged, and yeah, fuck you, and then
yeah,
you know,
they cut the film.
Yeah,
they cut the film and put the money down.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn it, Earl, come get your damn dog. And Earl Tudor dogs on the set.
Yeah. Like that.
Yeah. Another question we got here is, if you can't use chains, what's the best kennel setup to avoid problems from animal control and to secure your dogs? What you say on that, Ram?
Well, if you could afford it, you know, get the thicker grade black kennels. You know, they got a thicker grade metal on them. It's harder for the dogs to punch through and put a nice solid roof above them. But if you can't afford those, because them hoes expensive, I got 3 of them bitches, and I got them on sale and had them for years and still be like, God damn, they tax me for them bitches. But they worth it, you know. But if you can't, get the shit from Tractor Supply or Home Depot, whoever got some wire kennels for sale, or the outdoor ones, and run, you know, lengths of plywood between them if you got them, you know, stacked up next to each other so the dogs can't see each other. Sometimes, you know, the ones I use for that, I use 2 lengths of plywood just so I got, you know, crawlers, or a motherfucker might slip his arm through one of them holes and come home and got a 3-armed dog. You feel me?
Yeah.
And just the roofing is the most important though, because the motherfuckers will start climbing up out of them shits, man. So yeah, put a nice solid roof on there.
Yep.
That Lane Boudreau, I think he's Floyd's grandson. He sells kennels that are up off the ground, you know, and they, in the South, you know, like Florida or Georgia, like that. They use a lot of them. His are mostly for hound dogs or females with pups, and then just for pups, you know. But if you got a dog that ain't crazy, you know, try to bust out, they'd be good because they're up off the ground. They're easy to take care of. He's got different doors to go in and out, and you know, they're nice. They're nice kennels. You know, something like that you could do.
Yeah, if you could afford to build one like that, you know,
Yeah.
where it got a nice big deck and that shit is great for feed too. Like that saves your back.
Exactly. Yeah. So he's on. I don't know if people want to hit him up, but he's on Facebook. There, he sells them. I forget how much they are, but there's some nice kennels. They're wire and 2x4 plywood like that. You know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually go to the only thing I got that worked for me, because I tried the chain link fences. They suck, absolutely suck. If you got any type of game dogs, I wouldn't. Some people can get away with the chain link, but they always end up having to put some type of board or
Yeah, that's what I was saying. If you can't afford to get, you know, the good grade wire or the thick, you know, what gauge is on them shits? I forget. But like the ones you got, you feel me?
That's what I'm finna say. Cause like I get my shit from K9 Kennel store. You know what I'm saying? The motherfuckers need to give me some type of endorsement money or something since I just plugged them. But like K9 Kennel store, just Google that shit. Go to their website. They sell so many different type of good quality kennels, heavy welded wire shit, man, mesh, all kind of different styles. So, but like, cause I got a dog, this bitch, cause I got one of these, I try to be cheap. I had 3 of the K9 Kennel store ones, and then when I got this other bitch, the little Jeep bitch, I tried to be cheap, and I got one of those little fucking $400, it's like $300 kennel from goddamn the hardware place, right? From Fleet Farm somewhere. So I got one of them shits. It's a black welded wire. It looks similar, but it's not the same. I got that shit, put it next to it, put that bitch in there. She was cool then about 4 months later, she started just biting that shit and like squeezing the fucking metal off of that bitch, making a hole, and then she slide through there, scratch her back all up. Like, what the fuck, man? And I had to take that shit out of there and just spend the money on the fucking other one from K9 Kennel store. That's what I should have did in the first place. Just do shit the right way the first time so you won't have to waste more money, man. That's what I do. I go to K9 Kennel store and I put they sell roofs too, but with me, instead of getting a roof, I just put since I got an indoor setup, I just put plywood on top, 4x8 plywood, and then wire that shit down on there and shit like that. Then I use plywood to also is like fence separators for fighting and shit, so they won't be fence fighting and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, them chain link fence shit, that shit never works on none of my dogs. It's cheap. A lot of people try to go cheap, like, oh man, I can get this from Walmart.com for $150, man, and it's big. Yeah, it's cheap for a reason, bro. If your dog once your dog figure out it can get out of that shit, forget about it. They're gonna be getting out of that shit every fucking time. You're gonna be mad as fuck. You're gonna have to spend more money on another one. Your neighbor's gonna hate your ass because your dog gonna be getting loose all the fucking time. I'm telling you, just spend the money the right way the first time, man, for real. You know what I mean? Just get that shit from K9 Kennel store. You ain't go, just thank me later. You know what I'm saying? But even then, they're easy to set up. They use like these little rods and shit. These little rods to slide in, so you don't need no tools to set the shit up. And they're real heavy duty. Only thing I would tell you to do is get a bike, like one of those bike wire locks and shit. Get one of those and wrap that shit around your fucking kennel door for extra security. So can't nobody come in your backyard and just take your dog up out of there, you know. Or if you got a smart dog like my boy Doc, he know how to. He watched me put the lock in there, and he'll take his nose and lift that motherfucker up and come right out of that bitch. So I just used the extra security, put a bike lock on that motherfucker and shit. That's what I would do. Yep, K9 Kennel store, man.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, they should fucking like 8 times.
Oh, you broke up a little bit, Ram. There you go. I can hear you now. What you say? Oh, somebody.
I said they should send you some bread because you just name dropped them hoes like 8 times.
Right? Yeah, you gotta send me some money for real, man. Fuck that. Yeah, but yeah, it's just cool. So everybody go check that shit out, man. That's a good. That's been the best shit that worked for me. If you can't use a chain, that's the best kennel sell for me. It's a little more pricey, but if you got, just say you want to buy, I think you can get the thing about them is the shipping. The shipping gonna cost you like $400. It's a flat rate $400 fee to ship. So you better off if you got multiple dogs. You better off just getting multiple kennel run to make it worth your while and shit for the shipping. Like just get 3 kennel run or something. You probably can get like a 3 kennel run for like 1,600 or something like that or some shit, and like 1,600 and shit. It's worth it. Just spend the money now and shit, man. It's just like the price of a dog, basically. Hey, Ram, why don't you go ahead and give us a disclaimer, bro? Ram is still out. He on mute. Well, anyway, it was a good show. You know what I'm saying? Next week, be even better. We're gonna have some good questions next week. Thank y'all for tuning in and joining us. Make sure y'all go on hit Mr. Garcia up on Facebook Messenger and check out his registry. Dual register your dogs. You know what I'm saying? With his registry and shit like that. And we'll holler at y'all next week, man.
Appreciate it. Salute everybody and good show. Thanks for showing up.
Yes, indeed. Peace.